Gonna take it for a quick test run here. Hopefully the brakes hold up. They seemed a little questionable. I took all the hubcaps off of it because they weren't on there very secure. I don't want those flying off as I go down the highway. Hopefully it runs decent, and we'll see how it goes. I think it'll be all right. Hey all you beautiful car enthusiasts, welcome back to another video by MCL. And behind me is one of the most sought after muscle cars of all time, the 1980 Ford Pinto Wagon. And I've owned this car probably about 25 years, and it's been sitting in this great spot here for about 15. So we're gonna dig it out today. Johnny Law got a hold of us and said it's got to go. 15 years is long enough, so we're gonna try to pull this out today. And as you can see in the title of the description, it's not quite factory anymore. Factory came with a 2.3 4-cylinder carbureted or a 2.8 V6. This one has neither, so we'll get into that a little bit later, but first we got to dig it out of this hole. What's living down there? Hello? Man, that is a big hole. That is a huge hole. This car is buried. Buried. Oh, the smell in here is horrendous. Look at all this mouse droppings, just nasty in here. You see they got up in the headliner, started messing with stuff. Just trying to drain some of this old nasty gas out of here. It does not look good under here. She needs some cleaning. Got some rust going on, but I'm hoping to put some good gas in here and just fire it up and drive it right out. Shouldn't be any problems, right? Yeah, of course, whatever. So here's where I'm at. Couldn't get it started outside, so drug it inside here, work on it in the shade a little bit, make things a little easier. And what it comes out to be is there's no power to the fuel pump, has electric fuel pump, no power to the starter solenoid. And you can hear lots of scraping going on. The key doesn't spring back like it's supposed to. So I'm gonna dig into the steering column here and see what's going on under here. Well, hey everybody, I'm back. And you're probably thinking, back, where did he go? He didn't go anywhere. Well, it's been a week now. Last weekend, pulled this thing out of the hole that it was in for the last 15 years. I was hoping I could drain the gas tank, put new fresh gas in it, and it would fire right up, because the last time I drove this, I literally drove it into that spot and parked it with the intention of getting it back out in a few months. Well, 15 years later, it's still there. So I was hoping I could just put fresh gas in it, fire it up, pull it out. That wasn't the case. Turns out it had a bad ignition switch in it. So I pulled it in the shed here and I got a new one. We're gonna swap that out. And I apologize on the audio. Hopefully you can hear me good enough. I'll try to speak up. My cordless microphone broke, so hopefully the audio is good for you. But let's dig into this thing and see if we can't get it running. Take her out, do some smoky burnouts, you know, all the usual. So here's the new ignition switch. Here's the old one. I actually tore this apart in hope to clean it all out. It sounded really bad. When you turn the key, there's like just a grinding noise, sound like there was sand or something in here, and the key wouldn't spring back. So I knew right away before even tearing into it that this was the culprit. It was so bad that the spring broke inside here, so the key wouldn't spring back. I did tear it apart and got the motor to bump over, got the electric fan to kick on and electric fuel pump and all that. So this definitely is the culprit, the problem here. So went ahead and got a new one, just got a cheapy standard one. Everything matches up, looks good. I should be able to just plug this right in and really cross my fingers. It's just gonna fire up and run. We'll see what happens. So I was actually thinking, if a guy had a vehicle, you know, out in the back 40 or whatever, and they don't have the keys for it, I found this is actually pretty simple to do. You just take the 4 bolts out of the steering column, or the 2 bolts out of the steering column here, drop the steering column down. This ignition switch is up underneath here. This just has 2 bolts on it. You pull those out and you can move the slider right here, and you can actually just crank the motor over. You stick a screwdriver in here, push this up, and it would crank the motor over and it would run. So, I mean, if you really wanted to steal a turbo Pinto Wagon, I guess this is the way to do it. But, so yeah, we're gonna stick this back up in here. This bolts onto these 2 bolts here, like so. Plug the harness back in there. Throw the steering column back up on these bolts here. We're ready to go. So that being said, I thought I'd show you the big power plant this thing has. This is a fuel injected motor out of a 88 Thunderbird Turbo Coupe. Stock rating is 190 horsepower. It's got quite a bit more than that now. Did a custom front mount intercooler on it, the piping and everything. You can see underneath here, there's the intercoolers down here. You can see some of the piping running around there. But a lot of modifications. The long block is still stock. Everything's stock in there. The turbo is a whole set HY35. It came off a 2001 Dodge diesel Cummins. I built all the exhaust myself. It's a 3-inch exhaust all the way back. Some kind of Pro Flow muffler back there, I don't know. The van meter setup that this pipe goes to is kind of like a mass air type thing. It's all in, I put it all inside the fender. You know, the air cleaner and all that's inside the fender. Got a bypass valve here, runs from the turbo outlet into here, so it recirculates through. Reclock the housing so the outlet's down here, so I don't have all this piping up here running around. It's all, you know, neatly tucked down underneath there. Throttle body's off of a 89 Super Coupe, so it's much bigger than stock. The intake I completely gutted out, flows a lot more. Still has a stock exhaust manifold on it, but that was also taken out and completely gutted out, improved the flow. So yeah, with that whole set, I got adjustable timing gear on the front. But with that whole set and all these modifications and blah, 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 if I up the boost on it, I'm guesstimating it's around 300 horsepower at the flywheel. Right now I have it pretty conservative at the boost bumped down. It's only about 10 right now, just to putz around on the street or whatnot. So yeah, that's the power plant in it that I'm trying to get going here. Still has a stock radiator, which I've never had a problem with. Put an electric fan on it, works great. So yeah, that's where the power plant's at. So I guess while I'm telling you a little bit about the motor and stuff, I'd show you the inside here. This the car's originally a 4-speed, so it had all the clutch pedal and all that. But the tranny is also out of the 88 Turbo Coupe. It's a 5-speed. I did switch the bell housing in it because it had a hydraulic bell housing, and I wanted to keep the cable clutch set up. So the bell housing's out of a Mustang, Fox body Mustang. You know, I had to do some modifications underneath, tranny mount and cross member and all that to get it to work. Custom made drive shaft in it to get it to fit. The gauges, as you can see, I wanted to keep the car looking completely stock as much as possible. the gauges, when I put the turbo in it, the turbo actually interfered with the blower motor. So I took the blower motor out and all that. So pretty much all the heater and stuff didn't work anyway. So I gutted all that. This is a false face plate that's Velcroed on for, you know, the sleeper thing going on. Pull this off, completely fake. Here's my gauges underneath. Got mini tack and boost gauge on this side. So that's usually how I drive around, whatever. And if I want to, you know, conceal this, you know, for who knows what reason. Look, it's stock again. Car had original AC. This was an AC car. Never worked when I got it. It was junk. The whole thing was way too big. I mean, the AC compressor is about half the size of the engine, so that all went. So made another false plate on here. Put some screws on the back of the knob, Velcroed it on. So then down here we have our temp, oil, and alternator. So I can keep tabs of what's all going on. Like I said before, this car's never gotten hot with that stock radiator. It's always had good oil pressure. So yeah, so there's the race mode. And here's the sleeper slash stock looking mode. Boom, look, my car's stock. So I guess where I'm at here is I'm gonna pull the plugs out of here. I did see the spark plug wire here. Not the healthiest right there. That's not good. I'll have to see if I can come up with something to replace that one. But I'm gonna pull all the plugs in here. And I mean, when I was cranking it, it sounded so dry. It did not sound good at all. So pull the plugs and look at those and maybe dump something down the spark plug holes and see if we can get this spinning a little bit faster. Don't want to chew up those cylinder walls. So yeah, definitely gonna want to replace that spark plug wire. I was taking out the number 3 spark plug here and just bumped this wire and ripped right in half. So yeah, we'll be replacing that. Probably should replace all of these, but I don't know if I can scrounge up 4 wires around here, but we'll see what I can do here. Well, the plugs don't look all too bad. You know, this one's got a lot of rust on the top, but I don't know. They're runnable, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna run it. So pull the plugs out, sprayed some of this rust stop stuff down the holes and put in some racing oil. That'll just get her fired right up. Poured that down the holes. And of course, you know, you got to spill a whole bunch on your exhaust manifold, so when it does finally fire her up, she's just a big smoky mess. But let's just focus on getting her fired up, all right? All right, here we go. First start in 15 years. We'll see. After, you know, beating on the starter, you know, with a hammer for 10 minutes. Ooh, she popped. Come on, baby.
I'd cycle the key a couple of times.
Well, it's not popping anymore. Ooh, ooh. Come on, girl. Oh, so close. There we go. Oh, come on, come on. Check that.
Somebody's gonna call the fire department.
We better, yeah. We better check that firing order. Well, it ran worse than a 2-legged greyhound in a race, so we're going to pull the cap off, see what that looks like, and I just put the other 3 plug wires on that we got laying around and see what that does. Okay, all we did was just clean the cap and rotor, and we'll see if it does anything here. I'll have to change I'm gonna change the rest of the wires out, I think, and check the pull plugs back out, check those and see what those look like. So yeah, I think there's still a little bit of dirt underneath here, running it a little bit that I did. Put all different spark plugs on it, or spark plug wires. Of course, you notice how I didn't say new spark plug wires. But we'll throw some other ones on here, see if that does anything. Checked the spark plugs, they look fine. So I think I'm just gonna keep running it until it just kind of cures itself. And we'll see what happens this time. I think it's just gonna have to work itself out. It's gonna have to do a little Christine magic where it kind of fix itself, I'll fire it up one more time and see how it runs. Go through the gears a little bit and see if the tranny works. Moves, so I think what we'll do next is just vacuum it all out, get the nastiness out of here. It smells horrible, and take it down the highway, see if we can do some smoky burnouts, and maybe get in trouble with the law. Who knows? We'll find out. A guy gets thirsty every once in a while, so I always have a case of Corona back here. You want to pull over the side of the road and quick tip one back. No, that's not true. This is another little secret of mine here for this car. That's where the battery's at. I have a strap that goes across there, of course, for safety to hold that down. But yeah, just another part of the sleeperness of this car. So keeping the sleeper theme going. This car originally came with 13-inch steel wheels. It now has 14-inch aluminum wheels. And I went ahead and bought these super cheap plastic hubcaps that I put over the aluminum wheels. So yeah, I think they are 14 by 6, so you can't get too wide of a tire on it. The front's got 185s on it. And the back has 215s. I'm gonna have to get some new back tires because these are really shot from sitting a long time. You can see the big cracks in there. Not healthy. But for today, we're hoping that it'll hold up, and we'll take this guy for a run down the highway. tires. Oh, look at that guy right there. Performance G-Tech. Find out your quarter mile time. What else we got in here? Oh, car show plaques. Oh my goodness, look at this. Fun in the sun. Byron, look at that. Got all kinds of plaques for car shows. Oh, some change. What's in here? Do we want to look in here? Ooh. A bunch of owner's manuals, it looks like. I don't know, insurance card. Nothing else but poop in there. Bunch of change. That's about it. I think I've had the seat flipped up in well, at least 15 years, and not more. Oh yeah! I think I found most of my headliner. At least there isn't any nasty critters or anything, you know, running around. That's gross. Cleaning out the back, this nasty blanket was back there, disgusting. But underneath, I found these pair of jabots. I haven't worn jabots since mid to late 90s. Looks like they were some working pants though, they're pretty dirty. That's funny stuff. Well, she's all cleaned up on the inside, you know, cleaned up, sure. It actually didn't turn out too bad. I mean, guy wouldn't want to put on his church going clothes and take it for a Sunday drive or anything, but it didn't turn out too bad, I don't think. I mean, it smells a lot better. Gonna take it for a quick test run here. Hopefully the brakes hold up. They seemed a little questionable. I took all the hubcaps off of it because they weren't on there very secure. I don't want those flying off as I go down the highway. But yeah, this is about it for it. Hopefully it runs decent. And we'll see how it goes. I think it'll be all right. Still got the 15-year-old oil in it, but she'll be fine. No problems at all. So at the last second, I decided to throw some sunglasses on. You don't want to, you know, mouse turd come out and hit me in the eye and go blind and go off the road or whatever. So let's see what the old gal does after 15 years. Pops right over. Running a little rough. There, she's clearing up a little bit. Got some good oil pressure. Idle is about 40 psi, so we're good there. Let's see what happens here. Brakes are not the best. Come on, girl. Well, it's moving. No power steering. Oh, choke her out. bumpy on the gravel road, but once we get out on the highway, it'll be all right. All right, so our first test run here did not go so well. So we're just gonna take it back home and figure out what's going on. It seems like it's running on like 2 cylinders or something. It's not good. Well, up on jack stands. Typical, you know, 2.3 turbo Ford. And thinking that it is the fuel filter that's plugged. Show you my little system down here. Fuel pump up here above the axle. It's a 255 Walbro pump. And then I got the filter right underneath it. So here's from the tank to the Walbro, and it curves around to the fuel filter and then down on the original hard line for the car going up front. So this is pretty simple to take off, so I'm going to try that real quick. I think that's what it is because my fuel pump was sounding pretty weird on that test run, so I'm thinking this is plugged. We're going to pull that out quick. Well, here's where we're at. I pulled the old filter out and matched it up. This is just from Fox Body Mustang 7993. Does say Fram on it, but we're not going to talk about that. Don't tell anybody. I don't know why I put a Fram on it. I always use wicks. So I got a wicks. We're going to replace that. But went to dump this out and just poured orange out of here. It stunk really bad. Actually, chunks came out of here. So unfortunately, I think it's the best thing to do to drop the gas tank, make sure everything's cleaned out. I don't want to have to go through 5 of these things, so gonna end up dropping the tank and cleaning it all out and make sure everything is what it needs to be, put fresh gas back in it. And so that's where we're at. So I want to show you guys how bad this is plugged. There is about a 1/4 tank of gas in here. This line here, this rubber line, is coming from the front of the car. This little trickle you see coming down right here by my thumb, that's coming out of the tank. So that's how bad this is plugged. It's not even pouring out, it's just a small stream. That's pretty bad. Well, that was a fight. I didn't record it because every other word would have been censored out anyway, so more bad news. Look at this guy. That is not good. So I think the only thing I can do is I'm just going to cut it a little bit shorter up here, get rid of all that nastiness. Tank goes all the way up to there, so I should be all right still. It's pretty nasty under here. And I also discovered I still have my old electric pump bolted in here. Not sure why I never took that out. I mean, you know, the good pump is up here. So yeah, I got this, I believe this came out of like a F-150 truck or 250 or something. I don't know why he didn't take this out. But... all right, moving on. Well, I got it out. It's like wrestling an alligator, but it's there. Discovered this little guy, so that's wonderful. But that's the least of my problems actually, because inside here is absolutely horrible. It's rusted all over. There's chunks, you know, there's big pieces that are gonna flake off, and it's just gonna be, look at that top, look at that. So I'm gonna have to search for a new tank, I guess. I don't know how long that's gonna take for to get one for a Pinto Wagon, but the hunt begins. Not good. Things are not working out so well here. I searched around on the internet, did a bunch of phone calls, wasted a whole bunch of time, and I just can't get a new tank anywhere. The only thing I could probably do is get a used one out of salvage yard somewhere. Today's Sunday, so salvage yards are not open for me to even call there. Time is getting really limited on getting this thing out of here, so just gonna have to try to clean this the best I can and put it back in, put some JB weld or whatever on that hole, and just try to get this thing running and get it out of here. I gotta take it to my brother's, which is roughly 45 minutes away, and that's where it's gonna stay for the next few months. So I just gotta get it from here to there, and hopefully the fuel filter doesn't plug back up. Well, I got the end cut off. It's not pretty, but got rid of all the chunks and the rust, and the seal's gonna come up to here, so I'll be fine. Took the sending unit out and everything here, cleaned it all up. The tube on the sending unit was absolutely horrible, big chunks of rust and stuff on there. So this whole thing is just horrible. But like I said, I gotta do what I gotta do. I gotta get back in here. I gotta get this car running. So hopefully it doesn't plug up the fuel filter and I can get it to where I need to go, and then I can start looking for a decent tank and do this all over again. Fixed. Well, got the tank back up in there, and it was a fight like I knew it was going to be. The straps don't look too healthy. I thought sure one of those were going to break, but they didn't. I have my doubts on quite a few things. The sending unit, when I took it out to try to clean some of the stuff out of the tank, the O-ring does not look too great, but I got nothing else. What am I going to do? Threw it back in there, so there's a good chance that's going to leak. Put the new filter in, and that all looks good. Tightened everything up, and all we can do now is cross your fingers, put some gas in it, see if it leaks. Let's check for any other leaks, and hopefully the new filter doesn't plug up in 5 minutes worth of driving. So we got to go ahead and, you know, dump in some alcohol here, because she's a high performance machine. No, 87. That's all this stupid town has to offer is 87 octane. Go ahead and put some of the good stuff in here, you know. O'Reilly's, that's the best stuff you can get. At Lucas, you don't want to run that crap. Well, you can hear it humming away. I don't see any leaks. Surprisingly, like I said earlier, I thought this was gonna leak. It looks like it's gonna actually work. I need to run out and buy a lottery ticket after this, I guess. I don't know. It all looks good. All the lines look like they're good. I'm gonna have to take her for a run. Hopefully that filter doesn't plug up, like I said, but I guess we'll see. Okay, boys and girls, we are gonna go out for another test run here. It's the second run, and we'll see how it goes this time. It sounds like it's running pretty decent. Fuel pump sounds good. The fuel pump sound isn't going up and down like it did before, so better put my poop covers on. I'm gonna get poop in my eyes. But who knows how long that fuel filter will take before that clogs up. Hopefully it'll be fine. I don't know. Guess we'll see. So I just heard the fuel pump change sound, so that's not good. Hopefully it's not sucking up any debris and stuff. Seems to be running a lot better, so a little shaky. Camera's not very good. How's that? Is that better? Well, things did not go very well. That, you know how I joked about the fuel filter filling up and or getting clogged in 5 minutes? It was probably about 3 minutes. It clogged up. So got it out on the highway at least. I actually got into 4th gear and then it was all downhill from there. Died on the side of the road, wouldn't start. My brother had to push me back with his car. And that's where we're at right now. So I have to give up again for another weekend. This is weekend 2. So we're going to be going on the 3rd weekend. And I don't know, I guess I'll have some time now to look for a decent gas tank and we'll see what happens.